Get super flamed by chat there. What are some of the other ones? Oh,
Yeah,
do you know that Bristleback originally was going to be released as Bristle Bog?
I did hear that, but it didn't make much sense.
They actually changed it at the last moment. And the only reason I know this is because I had Dota open when they released the hero. Uh, and one of my friends had picked it and it listed as in game as Bristle Bog level like 14. So they changed it the very last second.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was a name from Dota 1, though, was a thing.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe I'm thinking
Uh,
of something else then.
yeah. But yeah, very last moment they must have changed that one. Either that or they forgot about it in the game files is where how it was listed, and they fixed it just on release. But that is something very vivid in my memory.
Neph, Dota 2 knowledge unparalleled. Sacred's Phoenix is picked up. He's one of the people that really does enjoy playing the Phoenix in a 3 position given the opportunity. And it's a flexible hero, so it's one thing that works really well for Thunder Predator. You know, they have moved this hero around quite a bit, but obviously if it is a good off lane, we'll probably see it here played in the 3 position for Sacred.
Yeah. So we've seen him play it a number of times on Sacred so far this tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that one would be pretty likely. You might even want to run that against the Slaughter. You could shut him down. There's the Leshrac. So we're also looking to play this one pretty fast here on Team Brazil. They're going to need somebody who can deal with the egg a little bit better than the Leshrac, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It is still a really safe pick here. You know, we have talked about how if you leave the Spectre into the draft, it does make Leshrac's game quite a bit more difficult. We've seen it now twice in a row where this Spectre has pretty much made Leshrac's game miserable. But running low on reserve time for both teams, getting to 30 seconds or less, basically. And I don't know if you want to pick your safe lane here. You do see the mid matchup. You should be able to figure out if you want Windy or Void there, and then you can take your support. But they also, I think, are a little bit afraid because they don't know if they want to run the Phoenix as a core or not. Okay, they just take the Faceless Void. All right, that's a great way to pair it up.
Yeah. I mean, you see the Leshrac, you probably discuss that with your team until the very last moment of whether or not you want to run that Spectre that's still in the pool, just like you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just, we saw the amount of work that they did to it with Jig Warriors in the first game of this series. They grabbed the Drow Ranger on Team Brazil. I'm not crazy about that one here. I'm going to be honest with you.
Really?
I think it's too easy for Void Spirit to get on top of it.
It's good for Void Spirit, but bad for the Faceless Void. We've seen how many times this tournament, like Faceless Void, has just ran across a fight trying to get to the Drow Ranger for the Chrono, and then, you know, the whole fight's over by the time he gets there, basically. But Drow Ranger is an egg hitter for sure. Super fast attack speed, great range with a, you know, Dragon Lance eventually. And it's not an easy hero for them to deal with at the moment. You could run, I think you're likely to run this core Void Spirit, but even if you run this core Windrunner, you have the MKB options that you can go with early and just try and, you know, focus fire down the Drought or the Leshrac here.
Yeah. Again, it's like such a great anti-carry. Just rushing an MKB, you can do a lot of work with that one. And we've seen Wind Rangers sometimes skip that one. It really depends on the game. The hero feels very versatile. We see once in a while even Wind Rangers go for a Meteor Hammer if they want to focus on pushing, which is hilarious, by the way. I love it when that one comes out.
Yeah.
Not in my games, but in pro games, yeah. If I'm a spectator, you know, like watching a car crash happen, it's kind of neat. But when you're in the reality of the situation, it is not great.
Yeah, I get you on that one. That makes a lot of sense. They banned the Rubik and the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon is something they've picked up several times this tournament, or who was that? It was Team Brazil, right? Or which South American team was picking the Shadow Demon?
That was
10 seconds.
It was Brazil. Yeah, they've picked it like 3 or 4 times this tournament.
Yeah, and to pretty good success. I mean, they've been having a good run of it. They've slowed down the last couple of days. I think they've taken the most losses the last 2 days here. They grab Marauder around this one out. This one is just a Flea classic. It's usually banned out in the first or second phase here, if it's not picked up. So surprising to see it get all the way through to the last pick. It does pair up nicely with the Drow Ranger. Of course, you can scale and start doing a lot of damage with your auto attacks, thanks to the marksmanship. They've got a lot of ways to do damage here on Team Brazil. I'd still favor Thunder Predators draft a little bit. I think it's going to be pretty scary fighting into what they have so far. And there it is. The Clockwork picked up last, rounding out the draft, able to get on top of the Drow Ranger, able to get on top of the Leshrac, blow these people up. I'm interested in seeing what Slayton's going to be able to accomplish on this. This should be a good game.
Yeah, and they end up taking the Windrunner or the Wind Ranger on Sacred, so it is the 3-position anti-carry like you were talking about, where her goal this game is to just focus fire down Leshrac or Costa Bile as soon as he has eyes on him. And now you have Slayton's Clockwork, which we saw how good this hero is against Slardar, against Leshrac, especially against Drow Ranger until you have Hurricane Pike. Like there's a lot of synergy here on the Thunder Predator lineup. I'm kind of with you, man. The Chrono Faceless Void compared with the Phoenix is always a great combo as well.
Yeah. Well, Ricky, this is bound to be a great game. Leo style Void Spirit, Sacred Wind Ranger. Can they beat Team Brazil this game, though? I mean, they've been having a great run in it, for Brazilian Portuguese speaking players. Communication on their team has seemed pretty wonderful. They lost the game to Jaguars, which I think a lot of people weren't really expecting, but Jaguars is a bit of a wild card factor, I feel.
Absolutely.
They too owed Infamous getting through here, which a lot of people thought Infamous should have been in this tournament. And there was absolutely no way they would lose opens. But then they've also been having somewhat of a rough run of it in the tournament. So it's hard to say what you're going to get from Jaguares, and everybody else are kind of proven factors.
All right. Oh, pause right to start it off. All righty. Leo style Void Spirit, an absolute treat to watch. So I'm very excited for that. We're going to see 4DR on the Leshrac. I mean, he's had a pretty good run of the tournament so far. Obviously, his Earth Spirit, the big highlight. I don't know if I've seen him on the Leshrac quite yet, though.
Not what you expected.
Rip Matthew, says Costa Bile. I like the response there from Slayton, though.
Could be worse. Oh, wait, no, it couldn't.
Looks like they're having a little bit of networking issues here, but they should be back in just a moment.
Not just them, but also me had a small hiccup there.
Oh, did you? I was wondering if you were just silent or not, but hello, welcome back.
Yeah, I am fine now. Just seemed to be a little bit of a network hiccup for me. Leo or 4DR now back in the game, but yeah, I don't believe that he's played any games on this Leshrac, as you were saying. It's been a lot of success on the Earth Spirit. I can pull up the page right now just to give myself a little bit of a reminder. The days have been blending together. You know, if I had time to collect myself. Tomorrow is going to be a pretty short day. We've got only 2 series, and I think tomorrow was supposed to be reserved for tiebreakers originally, but because of Movistar Pro Liga, a lot of these teams had scheduling issues, right?
Yeah.
So we need an extra day to push everything back. We're going to use that day for the games that couldn't be scheduled and tiebreakers, if we have any sort of ties in the upper and lower brackets.
Which right now, based on the scores, doesn't seem super likely. Everything seemed kind of spread out. The head-to-heads were only one that could be a question. No, yeah, 4 Zoomers would come out above Sad Boys. Yeah, it's hard to say. We'll find out. If 4 Zoomers tank a 0-2 today, it's possible. You know, we could see a tie, but I think
this is one of the more distributed group stages we've seen in a little while. I mean, we'd see Quincy Crew, head and shoulders above everybody else. And then group stages would look very close. Otherwise, everyone would be like, I don't know, there'd be 3 people there'd be like 5 people vying for upper bracket spots, right?
Yeah, the last the Dota Summit, for instance, there were 4 teams with identical scores.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild. This one should be pretty cut and dry, though. But yeah, it should give us a bit time to set up for what we have planned for the playoffs. We got some big plans you guys should look forward to.
All right, it's going to be a 2-for-2 on the bounty runes. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. I'm a little bit skeptical of the 5-position Phoenix usually. It has struggled in the past. Mirana pretty good at dealing with this hero, so she has to itemize for that Ring of Protection early. Just because, you know, you're such a low armor hero, Mirana does quite a bit of damage.
Well, especially with all these stat items that she started with. Look at this: 3 Iron Branches, a Circlet, and Fairy Fire.
Arrow just to snipe the range creep. Well done.
Stays out of XP range of it as well. So there's the trade-off there from Theo Lacour. He says, all right, I'll let you have the full XP from the range creep, but I'm taking this gold.
Mid lane, I'm going to be curious to watch this like Void Spirit versus Leshrac matchup. Now, I think we've seen it a few times in the tournament, but doesn't seem to go really one way or the other. Is, you know, Void Spirit has no way of really reducing the magic damage of the Leshrac, but Void Spirit does so much damage himself and has a great attack animation and damage.
Yeah, it's him being a melee hero, it's easier for him to pull the creep wave a little bit. He's got that, which is a lot easier to land the Aether Remnant, so he gets a bit of harass off. But yeah, the higher base damage, the Quelling Blade he has to work with, easier ways of pulling the aggro, all tools he has in his kit to give himself a little bit of a CS advantage for sure. The issue is the moment you leave your lane and you play Void Spirit like you're supposed to play Void Spirit, you know, going for those early pickoffs, 4DR is going to shove down your tower with Diabolic Edict.
Do you see Sladen right now? Do you see where he pulled this creep wave?
I know I'm with my camera over there real quick. What's up? Okay. All right.
Just all the way to the tier 3 tower. KJ's doing a good job at trying to pull creep aggro so these creeps go under the tower, and he's going to be able to get it, but a couple creeps still going to be deniable here by the clockwork.
Ooh. And distracted a little bit, but yeah, there's an interesting poll. The Yeti in the chat asking what kind of Monster Energy we're drinking right now. I'm still sipping on my Mango Loco.
Oh, I've already finished mine. My first one is down.
I'm obliged to respond to Twitch chat for comments like that one. King RD does end up dropping MJZ as I distract you, Ricky.
It's fine. Jerry, you know, he caught this one. He did not miss first blood. Speaking of missing kills, bottom lane, they managed to run down this Drow with the help of Clockwork and the Wind Runner, as they're going to be able to focus on KJ as well. He does have a decay, but the Cogs holding him in place in a power shot. Coming out doing some serious damage, but he's accepted his fate, getting another kill. This one over to Sacred.
2 kills gone the way now of Thunder Predator. Sacred, you have to be careful about how much gold you give him in this laning stage. I mean, we've seen Wind Rangers just pop off from the position 3 and 4 and get a very quick MKB. You know, if he manages to take this Leshrac out of the team fights early on, your game becomes very hard. So I imagine that's what's going to happen here. In fact, he's got the Null Talisman, Boots of Speed, then Javelin queued up here. I think we'll see a MKB rush after that one, though, this game.
Yep, another kill in the top lane. Just the physical damage here from Slardar and Mirana making it too difficult for this Phoenix to really do much. You know, in the 5 position, it sometimes works, but this is not one of those times, it seems.
No, it's odd, you know, the moment that Slaughter comes up to you. I have been watching how these kills have gone down. Unfortunately, I've been watching elsewhere on the map, but the moment Slaughter comes up to you, you just want to drop Fire Spirits on him, and suddenly he's not able to take advantage of his bash to the Jeep. But I think Slaughter's been running on him as soon as the Fire Spirits come on cooldown.
Nice shackle against bottom, setting up potentially another kill onto the Drow. They just dive right into the tower. Oh my goodness, just not paying attention, I guess, to the positioning there, and Sacred sets up an easy shackle into a battery assault. And top river, Leo style, he gets the rune in between the two of them. Whoa, with the 3 points and Resonant Pulse, he's going to try and chase them down. Can he get them? Saved by that raindrops, it looks like. Undying bottom lane. Gonna trade lives there with the Clockwork as well. Dude, this is 7 kills at 4 minutes. I love to see it. This is classic South American Dota.
Absolute bloodbath this game, and you know who's going to come out on top of this one? It's going to be Sacred. I mean, he's got 3 kills. There's his Boots of Speed that he's got sent out to himself right now. He's got himself a bottle too, so he'll refill at the 5-minute mark. He'll probably go and grab. Never mind. He'll grab 1. You do have a bottle on Leo style as well, but
yeah,
gonna get a lot of that.
They did refill the bottle mid for the Leshrac as well, so he's back topped off. We'll go back and probably take the other bounty rune like you're talking about.
Oh my god, they refilled the bottom bottle as well. Thunder Predator, they're just too efficient.
Yeah, these guys, you know, they don't miss out on these types of plays here.
Yep. And in fact, Sladen, speaking of efficiency, oh my god, is he going to die here? Drow Ranger, Coach Beal, he's going to go down again.
Is he actually? Oh, the soul rip though, Sladen keeping himself alive. But dude, the battery salt, the 2 points like we talk about, it's just too dang much. And Sacred now just gonna throw a kiss and walk away. I was looking top lane at the time because they were trying to get aggressive here onto the Phoenix, but yeah, you're right. They just take down the Drow. Is that the third death? It is. Oh
Yikes.
boy.
Threw a shackle shot off onto the range creep, hit the Drow Ranger that was sitting behind it, and then walked right up to him with that clockwork, hit him with the battery assault and the power cogs, and he's just dead. No surviving that one. And of course, Clockwork has the bottle, so we'll bring that down to Sacred again with full charges. Having an amazing time here on this Wind Ranger, and it's going to be an incredibly early MKB that I was talking about.
You can't get runes against Leo style in the mid lane either. I mean, he's just got this Aether Remnant. He just has been dropping every time that rune spawns, and Leshrac too scared to play into it, and he just gets another bottled, this time, Haste Rune.
Yeah. It's Leo style. It really impressed me with the last rune grab he got, though. Just in between the two heroes, manages to snag it that almost killed both of them. Leo style just popping off here on Void Spirit. I think you just need stronger heroes to contest and contest the runes and gank mid lane when you're playing against this guy here.
A real deep dive here in the bottom lane. I guess they were trying to wrap onto Costa B. Like, you end up taking a lot of damage on the Clockwork. He does have these Tranquils, but he's going to get ran down by 40R here. All right, Focus Fire. Leo style being body blocked. Dives in with that Haste Rune, the Shackle. Easy setup. They will be able to finish off. I mean, that's a fantastic trade. He'll take that any day of the week. Thunder Predator once again.
Just kill after kill here. Yeah, that's about 150 gold and 200 XP, or a little bit more than that on that trade. Sacred, he's just going to walk down here into the tower, and I believe... all right, never mind. I thought they were going to teleport the Sladen down to the bottom lane again, but he heads mid. What's he doing over here? Okay, he's just setting up a observer ward here onto their triangle. Makes sense. They're probably going to be moving into that pretty quickly here as well, given the fact they're losing the lane so badly. And they set it up over here, which is very unlikely to be dewarded.
Another rotation from Sladen on this Clockwork, man. We talk so often about how good this Clockwork is, and they're looking for King RD, the Chrono, and ends up coming out a little bit too early as he was just blocked off by the Cogs. MNZ, a little bit of a misplay there. But Leo style might save the day. Barely misses on the arrow from Thelicore. He's going to deny the rune. Not going to connect that time either.
Oh, Leo style. He just can't miss Thelicore. Is forced to walk in the trees. He does end up missing. I jinxed him. Instant caster's curse, man.
Yeah, you know you did.
Yeah. He's doing incredibly well, though, on Leo style this game. 4DR, a little bit behind him on net worth, about 400 gold there. Which makes sense as you're, I think you were ahead on last hits. Yeah, you're a little bit ahead on last hits. Some of them are from the jungle, though, and you do have a kill and assist under your belt here on Leo style. No neutral item for him yet, either.
That is unlucky. Bottom lane, Slade, and he is not done chasing after Costa Bile. Leo style with an Invis rune ends up catching the Undying instead, but he's going to continue the chase there on the Void Spirit. Dissimulate's not going to be enough damage. I doubt you continue the chase. He'll take that kill on the Undying and settle for that.
Yep. Sladen smokes up, instantly interrupted on Leo style, though, as he was under the tower. I'm pretty sure they saw MJZ get smoked, so I'll play a little bit careful here for a moment on Brasil.
Right. Free push on the top lane here. 3 points in the Edict always makes for an easy tower push. And I mean, he's in on Leo style. He takes a stun and an arrow, but the Sunray keep him alive. He's just dead. Immediately falls. Doesn't have the survivability, and a nice soul rip there from KJ as he rotates on in, keeping 4DR alive. Now King RD chasing after Sacred. Jesus, that bash damage just melts that Windrunner, and that's just that's a 2 quick kills plus the tower, and some big kills as well.
That looked incredibly bizarre to me. I'm not sure if that was a leg spike or what, but he had the opportunity to astral step out or dissimulate himself. He didn't get any of his spells off.
Oh my gosh, those bashes. Okay. Well, it was supposed to be like a 1 and disengage, but ends up just getting quad bashed by the Faceless Void.
You know, sometimes you get exactly what you need. Speaking of Costa Bile, finding a kill on his Slade and recovering from his laning phase a little bit. Much needed find there by him. And he'll clear up these ancients in just a moment, get those bounty runes, and he'll have his Dragonlance complete. Mid lane, 4DR, shoving out this catapult lane, just stopping Leo Style from being able to take advantage of this one. That is an issue that they have right now that we discussed. They didn't really have anybody who was able to hit towers here. They finished off their draft with Sladen with the clockwork, and it's been going great. You know, they've been finding tons of kills with this one, but they are going to struggle to find any of these early towers. It's going to be like Sacred with the focus fire bringing these things down, and she's going to want to commit this onto the heroes in the early game, especially given the fact that she just completed her javelin. It is the MKB first item that she's going, though, as I was talking about. You want to be able to blow up either Leshrac or Drow Ranger at the start of these team fights, really limit the damage that Brazil can output here.
Absolutely, and they are just going to go ahead and try and soak some XP bottom on the Mirana. We haven't really seen the first Chrono did not really get a lot of good use out of it, but he might just commit it bottom onto the Mirana. You do have some extra speed. Sacred, it really looked like he walked in the Chrono there, but barely on the edge. Thelacore trying to run the power shot off the mark, and now you're walking into 40R. They commit so heavily, and they go down again. The second time a Chronos comes out, and it doesn't seem to do much.
I mean, you hate to see it. You'd much rather throw out the Chronosphere and actually use it if you can set up a kill with it. But if it fails, you know, it feels pretty bad. Just forced to play defensively for the next like 2-3 minutes at that point. If like your Chronosphere comes out and it doesn't do anything, you don't get any like death time space that the enemy team has on the map. You know, they're much more obliged to actually fight into you because they know that they can't really be punished for any over aggression.
Yeah. Now your Faceless Void is really farmed, and we saw yesterday, for example, what a farmed Faceless Void can do as the game goes on. But you're going into a Leshrac, Drow, and Slardar, which gotta be careful there. Now, all those heroes do an enormous amount of damage.
Yeah. Trusty Shovel and an Iron Talon now found for the Faceless Void. Picked up a little bit late here at 12 minutes, but that's still a pretty nice find. You're gonna be happy about that one. Extra attack speed helps a little bit for killing heroes too.
He already almost has a blink.
Huh.
So you're about to have a blink Slardar. I mean, he's got the money for it now. Going to send it on Courier, and suddenly you have the initiation you need to try and start bringing down some of these heroes. Speaking of initiation, they find the Drow Ranger KJ. Going to try and keep him alive. He gets out of the cogs there, pops that undying flesh golem, and arrow not going to connect. But guess what? They're rotating on in, trying to save it, but. Beautiful play from Leo Styles. He just jumps on the back line, able to take him down. An egg as well in the center of the triangle. It's going to be able to stun up the Disco Pony, and Leo Style is going to chase after him. Nice Sunray doing some serious damage, but you got to be careful. The Split Earth stuns him in place. Blink, Crush coming in from the Slaughter. They cannot get this Void Spirit. He's just too elusive, and they finally finish him off with a huge soul rip there from KJ. And now the question is, can he get Sacred? He has a Wind Run in.
Yeah, pause coming out now.
Does he have 3 points in back? He might get this auto attack before the Wind Run.
Where is he? The King. Sorry, he's very underneath the Undying here. I see him. Wind Run. Just a moment. It's hard to say. This is very hard to say. I think the ping might end up securing that hit.
Oh gosh, they got him. Oh,
jeez. I think the Wind Ranger could have survived that one. He had 21 charges.
King RD's not done, baby. He's chasing after the Phoenix as well. This guy has no chill, just turning this game around. Putting himself now almost at the top of the net worth charts. Hookshot comes in. Nice play from Slade. And we saw yesterday how good Clockwork is against the starter. He gets himself almost 500 gold. And they take down MNZ in the mid lane as well.
King RD and MJZ tipping each other. Tries to find something. Gets hit by an arrow, though.
Oh, no.
Oh, the instant punishment there. In that last team fight, I think it would have gone differently if Leo Style hadn't played so aggressive. He was really trying to min-max. I'm sure you saw it. He tried to dodge that Split Earth with the Illusion Rune. But because it ended up landing onto him, everything kind of fell apart for their team.
Yeah, absolutely. Focus fire from Sacred onto 40R. Buddy Yules will give him the space he needs to just disengage. 20 HP. One more attack from Phoenix isn't enough, and you lose 2 once again. Team Brazil just running them over.
Yeah, just taking so many favorable fights, and these heroes are just barely getting out. I mean, if things went slightly differently, Thunder Predator would be winning these. I mean, if Leo Style managed to get that dodge off, if Phoenix landed
oh my gosh, King RD. He just goes in, snipes the rune. I was looking for Leo Style. You do have no more Astral Steps. You do have Resonant Pulse, but the river, that's the Slardar's favorite spot. He's just going to go ahead and jump back the other way, unable to continue the chase, it looks like. Now, MNZ on the bottom line does have Chrono, but there's the Gust onto the Void Spirit. You got no armor to work with. Can he get another piercing shot? He does, but pops the wand. KJ will fall.
Leo Style, I'm surprised he got out of that one. That was a beautiful play by them. It was certain that he's going to jump up to the high ground here, and so was Team Brazil, looked like. Ended up hitting that one point in the river where the Aether Remnant would have connected no matter what. Ran to the Drow Ranger, but baited him out by popping that wand and getting away. And they end up getting a kill on Danon, dying for it. So Leo Style, I was a little bit concerned. I thought he might have been tilting this game, but, you know, staying calm and collected. Setting up his team for some of these recoveries. He's gonna need he's got his blade mail complete now. That makes it a lot easier to fight in the Void Spirit. And so he's thinking about it here.
He got baited out a little bit. He does have that blade mail though, like you're talking about, and that's really hard to fight into when you're the Leshrac. Makes Leo Style just a lot more survivable here. Pops that regen, so he's perfectly fine.
Back up to full, and now Leshrac's all out of HP and mana. That was, you know, all in all a risky play, but a nice one.
Yeah, ends up working out. Leo Style knew he crunched the numbers ahead of time. There is a smoke heading bottom. They're going to look for the Faceless Void. The crush on the mark into the arrows. Not in time. Gets that time walk out. He's going to be all right. This is the problem, not having good arrow setup. You know, Slither and Crush, it is only level 1. It's a 1 second stun. It's always a 1 second stun, but you don't have the movement slow either.
Yeah, the movement slow does make a pretty big difference. I mean, the 6 seconds on the slow at 35% once you max that one out. But your other abilities, you've been fighting the river a lot, so the Guardian Sprint actually does feel worth it.
Yeah, I'm usually a fan of the Guardian Sprints. 1 point in Slither and Crush usually is the way to go. Mid lane, the hook shot comes in, a nice 2-man Gust. The Chrono on the backside, though, does catch 2, and MJZ, he's going to get ready to say go for a nice egg, but he dives into an arrow. Oh my goodness, a disaster for the Phoenix, but Brazil looking like they might have more trouble going their way as Focus Fire will finish off that Leshrac. They did buy back on this Undying, who's trying to turn this fight here. They find the Faceless Void, the Soul Rip to secure it, and now Leo Style, he has an Astral Step in 1, but he's got no mana. Pops that wand. We'll be able to make it away. The arrow, not going to connect, but TP in a few seconds. Can they stop this? Looks like he has moved all the way around. I think they saw him for a moment through the core. Oh, they see him on the backside. Do they have any way of canceling this TP? Doesn't look like it. He should be able to escape. Wait, they just...
Their economy in shambles
Okay.
as everybody runs at him. In fact, Leshrac uses a town portal scroll as well. Leo Styles in their heads, but you know, that fight didn't go that well for Thunder Predator. The Phoenix diving right into that arrow looked absolutely hilarious. And because of that, he didn't end up getting off his egg. And that was such a clean fight to take an egg. And your entire team in front of you, you had already been wanting it because that Chronosphere had come off, or winning it rather. Faceless Void ended up dropping too. I mean, you have to be careful when he commits that far forward there on MJC. I think we saw one egg come out so far this game that looked pretty nice, but
yeah, over on the
MJC,
Radiant Triangle here.
He's gonna have his work cut out for him for sure.
Did you smoke up again? I mean, they know how they have egg because they didn't get to use it on the Phoenix, but guess what? He's the one you find first. The dive away to safety, the missed timing there on their spells, and now the perfect reinitiation. They're going to get a beautiful cogs into an egg on the backside. Once again, Mirana going to fall right down into the stun. 2 heroes held in place. Leo Style, beautiful Astral Step. Tombstone on the high ground. They gotta deal with this. The Shackle there as well. They're trying to take down a good 2-man split Earth. 4DR just melting the side of Brazil, and Drow caught by another Aether Remnant. It's gonna be 4 dead and potentially 5 as 4DR. He's the only survivor. He will catch Sacred. Does he have the damage to finish it off? The Blade Mill's back up. They don't get it. It's a triple kill for the Windrunner.
And she gets even closer to that MKB we were talking about. Phoenix, setting up that entire fight. They couldn't quite chain stun him there. Because of that, he ended up getting that Phoenix egg off. Mirana tried to run forward, interrupt the egg by getting the bonus attack speed off with the leap. But unfortunately, whose Yules was that came out onto her? Was that her own Yules? It was.
Onto which hero?
Mirana used herself during that Phoenix egg. I thought she'd leap forward and try to auto down that egg because it was just level 1.
Oh, she might have had fire spirits on her.
Yeah,
I think before the Phoenix went in, she threw the fire spirits, and I'm pretty sure it hit the Mirana, so she has no way of getting the egg either way.
It's damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, but that egg was what secured them that team fight there. Just force her disengage, lose 2 heroes, and then by then it was already long gone.
Mid lane, Costa Bile found. Easy pick off for them as Sacred ends up going for the Blink Dagger as opposed to finishing that MKB, and it should be 2 quick kills for them, the Fire Spirits, plus the earn more than enough damage. Ends up going the way of the Clockwork, and they're just, you can tell this, you can see the frustration on the mini-map there coming out from Team Brazil.
And they moved right into the Roche pit, just taking advantage of that fight that they took beside it. Whenever you take a fight beside this objective, it makes it quite easy. At Thunder Predator, suddenly finding their pace. It feels like they got their rhythm going. They're in their groove now. Looked a little bit rough for a while, but Slardard needs his BKB before he's able to jump into them anymore with that Blink Dagger. It was going good for him for a bit.
Aegis now completed. Looks like Faceless Void's going for an Eye of Scotty after this Manta style. Not normally the carry item you see on this hero. Yesterday we saw what a status resistance build could do, and I wouldn't be surprised if you could do that in this game as well. Now the issue we're running into here on the side of Team Brazil is they have not been able to really deal with this Windrunner. If I'm not mistaken, she kind of just does whatever she wants. Sacred just blinks in, getting a huge shackle onto 1, if not 2 heroes.
Yeah, Sacred has been having an absolute insane game, 10-4. I mean, he started the game 3-0, just kill after kill onto the Drow Ranger. And just about has the MKB. Once he has that, I mean, Leshrac, he's just going to get focused down in these team fights. They're going to be able to take him or the Drow Ranger out, and the game becomes so much more difficult. The Faceless Void, though, we were touching on the Eye of Scotty, and you want to see his Dazzler isn't spelled. The reason why he's going for the Scotty this game is just the hero he's up, the heroes he's up against. So he's worried about A, getting bursted down, so he'll have extra armor and HP from the Scotty, and B, he's playing against the position 1 or 2 that are both range heroes. So Drow Ranger nor Leshrac will be able to get away from you when you have that plus 50% slow onto them from that Scotty.
That's a lot. Got double energy booster. I'm sure that might have been a misclick. Yep, he literally just sells one. Okay, and finishes his Bloodstone. All right. So a little bit of economical damage there to the Leshrac as he accidentally buys a second item.
It's not a good feeling, especially when you're a little bit behind already. They're nervous to push out this bot tower. They know that Chronos Field is available on the Faceless Void and that he's got an Aegis. So even though that tower would be quite easy to take with the Diabolic E, they could also set up the Void.
Oh, the Blink Stun from the Void Spirit. Onto the Void Spirit, rather. It's there, but Sacred, he's got this Wind Run and a newly finished MKB. Void Spirit, he's the first to fall, just cannot sustain through this damage. The bashes and all of this Leshrac's magic, just too dang much. They're going to look into MNZ. He's the big kill if they can find it. He does have the Aegis, but he does have some backup. There's a Phoenix on the high ground, obviously holding the egg. There's going to be the Yule set up. A Sunray immediately interrupted. The Split Earth is there. He go ahead, commits the egg, but they're not going to dive for it. So Delacor, he's just going to burn down. A Yules will keep King RD out of the egg, but he goes right down into a Remnant, unable to outrun that Sunray. KJ trying to just throw his body at the enemies at this point as they know Thunder Predator is just going to keep diving after him. 40R throws a Yules, but they get the shackle. They cancel Costa Bile's TP. They finish him off with that focus fire, and another fantastic fight for Thunder Predator. The buyback coming in from Leo style.
Just making it that much easier. Beautiful tail into that team fight there on Sacred. Knew exactly what the Drow Ranger was going for. Threw out that power shot for vision, and then dropped the shackle shot on him afterwards as auto attacks did cancel his Blink Dagger to stop him getting down there. Thunder Predator, they suddenly started playing just so coordinated and not wasting any time here on the map. Imagine they'll try to take a tower off of this one. Leo style is running down the creep wave in mid, trying to clear this up before they get here. And I imagine, oh, I thought Focus Fire would come out here by Sacred onto the tower. So it will be a bit slower because of that one. Oh, the arrow? Okay. No arrow connected.
I thought they were like smoking to head bottom here, but they're actually just kind of running into the jungle. We're gonna have full vision of this here on Thunder Predator.
I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is they're up to. I think they're just worried about heroes on Team Brazil split pushing them. They have this ward up here now, so I think after a quick scout through the jungle, Sacred will go back to doing what he's doing before. Probably want to try to take Shrine before this 30-minute mark and secure your tier 3 neutral items before you make any more plays.
Oh boy, once again, Costa Bile. I mean, it's just too easy for these guys. They have so much pick-off. Like you said, if you have the catch, the Draw Ranger feels so much weaker. And when you have Clockwork, Void Spirit, and a Blink Windrunner, that's pretty easy, right?
This Blink MKB, we've seen this so many times. You just get on top of a target very quickly, focus fire them down, they're gone in like 2 seconds. Usually the duration of your shackle shot's done. They can't survive it. And if you lose either the Drow Ranger or the Leshrac in these team fights, it just becomes too hard. I mean, Wind Ranger takes care of one of them, and Faceless Void's going to be able to get the other with the Chronosphere. Speaking of, he just managed to complete his Eye of Scotty. So even harder to get away from this guy now. Your position 1 and 2 are now slowed by 50% the moment Faceless Void gets on top of you.
I mean, they're feeling pretty good here on the side of Thunder Predator, right? 8,000 gold lead. We kind of knew their draft was a little bit better here, and they didn't really... I mean, they struggled a little bit in the very beginning of the game, took a couple bad fights, but it feels like at every point of this game, as it goes later, they're still favored, right?
They are, yeah. Slightly off topic here, but I just got an update from my admin. Oh, never mind. Mirana is blown up. Nothing to be able to do to get away from this one. But on that note of Theo Licor dropping, we have an update from our admin, Nina, who's in charge of scheduling and bracketing for this tournament. Shout out to him. He says Arkosh, Fiban, Midas, and Jaguars are all confirmed to be inside the lower bracket, but what seed is yet to be confirmed?
Yeah, I saw that because Arkosh still has one more series. Jaguars is done to my knowledge, finishing 3 and 9. And Arkosh has their what? I don't remember, 2 and 8 maybe. But they have, yeah, they have one more series left here today. Ooh, mid lane. They managed to find Sacred, but the Split Earth, it is timed correctly. A nice Force Staff out. The Sunray heals. He's going to be fine now. Dust manages to catch KJ just on the edge, and the damage coming in from this Leo style, but he takes an arrow. Beautifully done. They're going to be able to put that egg on the high ground. The Chrono. We've talked about this combination over and over, just how dang good it is. And MNZ chasing after Costa Bile. The Force Staff pushes him away from that Split Earth. The Sunray just on top of them. All double, triple kills here for the Phoenix and double kill for Sacred. They just cannot do anything. They buy back Drow. They buy back the Undying. They may force more.
I mean, getting Leo style is best case scenario with that stun, but you know, beautiful Chronosphere coming out protecting that egg, and very unfortunate Hurricane Pike coming out from Costa Bile pushing MJZ over. Oh, just off the mark there by Sladen. There's a shackle though, and once he's on top of you, there is no getting away.
Yeah, you take those for sure, and that's a dieback now. Again, they have Leshrax's buyback available. Sardar up in 7 seconds. I think that we're just likely to see them take the tower. I don't know if you can get the melee barracks here. Yeah, they're just going to back on out, and I don't blame them. So far, getting a 15,000 gold lead seems much more worth than that barracks.
Yeah, not if you're about to throw a little bit of that lead away. It can go either way. Leshrac and Drow Ranger are able to take towers so fast that the game turns around. So Thunder Predator not willing to give up this lead, and they managed to secure it for themselves. And I think that's the correct play. Clockwork working on his egg and his scepter. Awesome to see that on that hero. The guy is just jumping around the team fight. The bonus movement speed and extra attack speed goes a very long way as well. I like that find him and M and Z working on his MKB. I think Leo Style needs to tank up a little bit, and that's what he's doing. He's going for the Ashiva's guard right now, but also needs a bit more HP, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely the next item you will need.
What do you think he grabs to bulk up a little bit in the HP department? I know
Just
he's
the
got the blade
axe.
mail.
Ags
Yeah.
is good enough, right? It'll give you enough to work with. Plus, you have the quickening charm. The AoE silence is always good, especially against heroes like Leshrac who don't have BKB quite yet. But it's gonna be the first stun onto the Clockwork Split Earth arrow set up. They get something here on Brazil, and they're gonna chase for more. You do have the BKB on your Slardar, but you are very far ahead by yourself. There's the Shackle, the Sunray. You never even got a chance to use it. And now Leo Style, he's going to try and turn on to this Leshrac. An egg perfectly placed on the high ground. There is a tombstone there. Can they finish it in time? The high ground misses. Oh my goodness. It's not enough. And now goes to Bele. He's going to try and spider legs himself to the low ground. A great gust coming out. TP not going to be in time. A Yule's there to cancel it. Going to fall into that dissimulate, and they just call the GG. It's going to be Thunder Predator taking this game to 1.
Yep, and MNZ, he throws out a Chronosphere onto Sacred at the end just for good measure.
Yeah, he's like, hey, buddy, have a chrono.
Have a chrono. Thunder Predator, you know, they had some rough spots there. Slaughter had his Blink Dagger. You know, he did an amazing job here on King RD. Don't get me wrong. Beautiful performance out of Slaughter this game, but it just wasn't enough. Costa Bele died so many times in the laning phase to Sacred, struggled to come online, and of course, they didn't end up getting enough towers with this Leshrac. Leo Style did an excellent job, got himself caught out a number of times there, which slowed down his performance a little bit, but Thunder Predator, they're looking good.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of had this trump card of just a super farmed, you know, Faceless Void and the offlane Wind Ranger. And when you have that scenario, I don't think you really care too much.
Yeah, it's like I was talking about. The Wind Ranger is able to pick off one of these core heroes at the start of every fight after she got the Blink Dagger and the MKB. So we got to choose between either Costa Bele or Costa Bele or 4DR on this Leshrac.
Yep.
When your other tool is like the Chronosphere that's going to come out, and you know the Chronospheres did a lot that game. Yes, one of them didn't go so well, but then a lot of them protected the Phoenix Egg. And then speaking of Phoenix Egg, that ending one where he managed to dive onto the high ground perfectly in those evasions one, just securing the game for them, that was very clean.
Yeah, that was
Thunder
so
Predators
close. I would love to have seen how many missed auto attacks was there, because they had both. There was like 2 heroes trying to hit the egg, and it still survived, which was ridiculous because it looked like there was probably 5 or 6 misses. But yeah, it was just an incredibly well played game from Thunder Predator. The draft, like we said, just seemed to favor them right out of the gate, and they hit their timings. They did what they need to do, and they're ready for game number 2. If I had to guess, you know, Team Brazil having a little bit of a rough day so far, but you know, might be deja vu where they take a loss game 1 and then come back and stomp game 2. You never know.
Sad boys factor.
Sad boys factor, the 1-1. All right. Well, we'll be back with game number 2 in a little bit here. Just after a short break, everyone stay tuned. We'll see you in just a little bit.